So today I started working on the bottom panel for the Tin Man's leg, which is what I have here. So what I started off by doing was on the dot and cross paper, I looked at drafting a shape, a pattern piece that I could use for both of these sides. So I measured around my legs and added a bit extra for getting it on and off and kind of ease for that, and I marked that out on the paper, and I thought about then how long it would need to be, and I took into account, because I was using my own leg as a reference, but I used the measurements to see what length, how much taller than me they were, which they were, so I added some extra onto that to account for how much taller than me they were. And then I looked at starting to cut the material, and I decided to cut the piece in different panels, and the reason I did this was just to add a bit more texture and to try and make it feel a bit more metally, a bit more like it's been welded together. It's got these seams, these folded over, and so what I did was I top stitched it then to give it a flatter, more but also more prominent join, and so it wasn't curving, and it behaved a bit less like the material that it is. And something that was really difficult with this was the sewing machine really struggles with this material, and you really have to push it through. So if you look on here, you can see a lot of the stitching, the lengths are quite uneven, and if you see, it's very, very small and tight here, but that's actually on the longest stitch setting. And then once I'd started, I also switched to a leather sewing needle, which Joe provided me with, and this made it, I think this made it a little bit easier, because it's able to puncture the fabric more effectively. But I think the main problem it's having is it's too sticky, so it's getting caught in the feed dogs and it's not letting it go through smoothly enough. So I really have to think around that and think about which side goes through the machine the best. And I really noticed this in particular when I was trying to do the hem at the top. I didn't want this edge, so I was folding it down, but I don't think I folded it down far enough, and this very side of it was getting a bit chewed by the feed dog, so I tried turning it around and it stopped getting chewed by the feed dogs, but it was still, the stitching was coming out really uneven and really wonky, because it's very difficult to pull the fabric through when you don't have a lot on one side. So and also because I can't pin it, things were ending up quite lumpy, so I decided to unpick it, which is quite a big decision for this material because it's not as forgiving as most fabrics. Once you don't want to be unpicking it a lot, because it will make holes you can't get rid of and it might disintegrate. So I'm going to try using sewing clips to hold it in place, and hopefully that will stop it from moving around and being so lumpy, and maybe give me more ability to just focus on holding on to getting the material through the machine rather than folding the hem round as I go, which will hopefully solve that problem.